Hi everyone, my name is Jacqueline and I am your HR buddy, study buddy. The reason of my videos I'm presenting is that I want to be able to introduce resources for anyone who wants to gain their path on the human resources certification. Either is going to be for your PHR, SPHR, SCP, CP, whichever one, they're both really good. Honestly, in my opinion, I want both of them. Um, so resources that is going to help you with your path. Not everyone is able or works for an organization that invests in their employees. Therefore, everyone has to be able to, you know, fund themselves. How to study, how to manage time is something that I will discuss through the week. On the weekend, I'm just going to be sharing my, testing. I did test prior and I failed, right? And I've learned from my mistake. We all learn from mistake, but quitting is not an option. Therefore, now all I'm doing on the weekend is testing, 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 and I just want to share at the same time for now the resources I'm using and how I'm going about it. Now, today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about this book. It's very affordable. You can find it on Amazon. I already read the book. This book is pretty cool. I like it. It's You could read this in one day, 2 days. I know we come tired from work, but weekend you could dedicate yourself. I will talk about through the week the different LMS learning systems that I did purchase and I was exposed to, and their opportunities, if they're good. I could will compare them. I had an opportunity to sit for David Asylum. I also sat for SHRMS and LMS, and I also did HRCI. So through the week, I will definitely talk about them a little bit more and what their resources come with and what I think is the best. But everyone is different, okay? This is just my opinion. That's it. Um, so the most important thing is for everyone to please make sure you do some type of reading. I, my study buddies, they hate reading. Life, work, balance. They come home, they gotta cook, deal with the kids, issue, work. They work late. They gotta get up early. They gotta go to work. It's difficult. It really is. And then your weekends, I don't know about you, but your weekends are the worst. Like your weekends is like, I feel like at times I work more on my weekends than at work. So it can become a little bit of a challenge, right? So this book is really good. It does help you. There's other books that I do have that I've been exploring just to be able to present as well. So it's a really good book. This is old. I don't know if there's a big difference for the 2023. This is the study guide for 2020 and 2021. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Again, I've read the whole entire thing already, right? I did my marks. Please get this book if time is an issue for you. Um, Therefore, make sure that you read the whole thing. Well, I'm gonna go skip, and because I read the whole thing, I haven't studied this book for quite some time. I was doing other stuff. I think I haven't studied this. I haven't practiced with this book. It's gonna be for a good I don't know. It's gonna be like for 6 7 months. I haven't touched this book, so the questions are gonna be pretty new to me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is the ones that I'm gonna start is going to be on business strategies. That's the topic of this section, business. I'm gonna write it down, the date, and the page number so I can refer to it. Because what I want to do is keep a track. And I mean, not the same day, obviously. Within maybe 1 or 2 days, I go back. I have so many other systems that I'm learning that I'm using to take testing. So, but this is the one that I'm going to be using for now. Okay. Okay. So again, I'm going to take a score I put down the business and the day and the page number. I really don't know the day right now, so I'll get it later. Okay, just want to be able to start going. We have a good 30 questions. I may not be able to go all the 30 questions with you today. I'm going to try to do as much as possible, and then I'm going to continue studying. But I'm going to go for a few with you. And the reason I want to do this because I found that when I did my study buddy, my groups, um, it was really nice when you were able to break down the questions and share why they selected that question compared to the other. And then it really does help you because, again, it's all about testing skills. One of the elements, one of the learning system that I swear to it, it really does help. His name is David Solomon. He is amazing. And David Solomon is always says it's about testing, 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 improving the testing skills. That's what you should do to test as much as possible. Understanding the question. What are they asking you, right? And that's something at times I really do struggle with. I know my stuff, but I'm horrible with testing the anxieties and everything else that comes to this, especially as something that I really do want. Like, I really do want this. Okay, so the first questions that I have here is which best describes corporate social responsibility, right? So what describes corporate social responsibility? So the questions are, and I'm going to start using process of elimination. That's regular testing, right? Strategy. So, corporate social responsibility is a policy mandated by the government to coerce corporate cooperation to improve their communities. I don't know about mandating policies. Corporate social responsibility refers to the responsibility of the corporation to have towards its shareholders. I don't know about that. It has part of it. Yeah. Corporate social responsibility is an issue of ethics pursued by corporations that see the health of their business and contingent upon health of their community. Corporate social responsibility refers to the social climate of the organization and policy created to sustain strength and of the climate. I'm gonna go with with number one. Again, it says which describes corporate social responsibility. I went with corporate social responsibility refer to the social climate of the organization and the policy creates to sustain the strength of the climate. Okay, second one. Um, CSR, which is corporate social responsibility, can be evaluated on which three P's of the triple bottom line. That one is planet, people, planet, and profit. Yeah, that was an easy given. But the questions are people, price, proxy, and stuff like that. I'm going to go with people, planet, profit. I know that for a fact. Okay, what is the purpose of a vision statement? A vision statement is a memo draft by management that articulates that if company policy is breached, there will be a severe, that is not it, process of elimination, let it go out. A vision statement is an insisted explanation of how an organization plans to deliver quality of product and services. A vision statement is a insistent explanation of how organization plans to deliver its quality. That sounds pretty good. A vision statement that is lengthy and detailed speech given by the CEO. No. Process of elimination, that is definitely not the vision statement. A vision statement is a short address that low level employee given management. Nope. So the answer for me, I did a process of elimination. Vision statement is a succinct explanation of how organization plans to deliver quality product and services. So I'm going to be B. In regard to corporate social responsibility, the most common way for cooperation to assimilate into a community includes all of the following except please, these are the two words that we need to be look out because I intend to read really fast and then instead of choosing, and I know the one that is accept, I end up choosing one that is a qualifier. Okay. So, in regard to corporate social responsibility, the most common way for cooperators to assimilate into a community includes all of the following except establish alliances with respect and member of the community outside the organization. In regard to corporate responsibility, the most common way for cooperators to assimilate into a community includes or except deliver inexpensive goods and services for the community, hire as many local as possible. I would say yes. Maximizing their profit despite any consequence to surrendering environment. Establish alliance with respect to members of the community and outside the organization. That's corporate social responsibility there. Deliver inexpensive goods and services for the community. Expensive. Hiring as many local as possible. That one is definitely. I don't know. I'm between B and D. We always got to choose what's the best one. Maximizing their profit despite of any consequence to surrounding environment. Let's stick with D. What is the primary purpose of the organization branding? So here they want you to give you have to select three of the options. Like which one is best? What is the primary purpose of organizational branding? I would say the intent of organizational branding is letting the customers know when they walk into the store. Right? That's organizational branding right there. One purpose of the organizational branding is to establish distinctive image for consumers to automatically recognize. Organizational branding allows entities to create perception of value ethics, which it stands for. Organizational branding focuses on promoting the benefit of the company in order to appeal to the target audience. Hmm. They all sound really good. Organizational branding focuses on promoting benefits in the company in order to appeal to start. I'm going to go with one, two, and three. D. What is the main purpose of cost benefit analysis? So, evaluating the policy or program cost benefit analysis empirically tests its efficiency to ensure that resources aren't squandered. That is, for me, that is number one. Cost benefit analysis are rarely conducted. That's eliminating B. When evaluating policy program, cost benefit analysis is conducted that rationally tests its efficiency to ensure that the resources aren't squandered. However, because the cost benefit analysis are antiquated, many typically decision on policy or program based on original popularity. I don't know. A cost benefit analysis is empirical testing of policy and program. However, management is typically disdainful. I'm going to stick with A. What is business metric? Business metrics are qualifiable measures that describe the productivity, capacity of the policy and program and products. Business metrics are informal activity that management occasionally conduct in order to discover feasibility, policy, program, and product. Business metrics are typically utilized to weed out the underperformance. That is not true. Kind of true, but not necessarily. You could use the metrics. Business metrics are meeting representatives for each department to avoid concerns and establish an that makes no sense. I would stick with A. Business metrics are qualifiable measure that describes the productivity, capacity of the policy and program and products. Right. Number 8. All of the following are part of the core meaning of competitive advantage, except qualifier. Competitive advantage is a practice of constantly attempting to increase market share by exploring advantages. Competitive advantage is the practice of constantly attempting to increase market share by exploring advantages. By constantly developing a labor force and technology, competitive advantage is pursued by all corporations in order to edge out competitors in the market. It's mandatory that organizations pursue policy and competitive advantage because they all want to maximize output, increase market share. Competitive advantage is a type of benefit that customers believe they could not get anywhere else. I'm going to go with A, but I'm going to go with A. Because a competitive advantage is a type of benefit that the customer believe they could not get anywhere else. I mean, like they had no alternative. Like that was the only place I can go to, right? I don't know. I'm gonna go with that one. It just sounds right, except because all the rest of them sounds like it's something that they would do. Okay, so I'm gonna go with number 9. Which of the following statement least describes corporate governance? Corporate governance is established policy, rules, and standards that organization follows in order to fulfill its vision, goals, and as a for-profit entity and stakeholder in order to broader community. Public policy influence corporate governments in the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. That's what it is. Remember, it's the least described, right? Except least. That's what we're looking for, but that one is definitely corporate. That means corporate governance. It's under corporate governance. Corporate governance addresses rules and practices in institutions that protects and manages ecosystem in relation to the environment. That's pretty much right. Corporate governance is necessary to establish a sense of image and it can be used as an instrument to restore institutional trust. That is true. Can be B, it can be C. I'm between A and D because it will sound good. I'm gonna go with A. Corporate governance is establishes policy, rules, and standard organizations to follow in order to fulfill its vision, goal, and for-profit entity and stakeholders in the broader community. I don't know. Right. 10. Which of the following is true about corporate restructuring? Corporate restructuring is intended to make a firm more competitive. I would say that. Corporate restructuring is change in the operational legal code or ownership in a form. Corporate, corporate restructuring is only emphasis for cutting labor and lowering wages. That's not true. The principal purpose of corporate restructuring is to increase profit for senior executive. C and D, we're going to do a process elimination. I'm going to go with A, which is the corporate restructuring intended to make firm of competitive. So, which of the following is best described enterprise risk management? Okay, enterprise risk management is when the department crafts its own policy and procedure for handling issue or risk and losses. That's pretty much explanatory. That's what it is. Enterprise risk management policy are crafted only by seniors, sometimes a committee. Enterprise risk management is a process for establishing broad but comprehensive protocol for handling issues or risk and loss. C, I'm between A and C. Enterprise risk management is when the company participates in high risk situation in order to maximize profit. That's not true. For me, it's A and C. Enterprise risk management is when each department crafts its own policy and procedure for handling issues of a risk and loss. A department crafts its own policy. You know what? I'm going to go enterprise risk management is a process for establishing broad but comprehensive protocol for handling issue of risk and loss. I'm going to go with C. All of the following is true about offshoring. Offshoring is typically done to reduce the cost of business. Offshoring involves shifting business operations to a country where business can be conducted at a lower cost. Offshoring involves shifting business operations to a country where business can be conducted at lower cost. The only beneficial of offshoring is the company itself. Offshoring is one aspect of cooperation restructuring that permits companies to remain competitive. Not necessary. I'm going to go with B. Number 12 is B. Number 13. All of the following is necessary for organization to pay attention to its legislative and regulatory environment except a qualifier again, or to anticipate changes in craft cooperation government policy that addresses new regulation and legislation. Anticipate changes. All of the following is necessary for organizations to pay attention. Yes, they have to pay attention, anticipate changes in craft cooperation government policy that addresses new regulation. That is important. To engage in lobbying effort in order to fight proposed changes that could be damaging to the corporation, modify and make new legislative and regulatory changes more palatable, examine competitors and match their own legislation. That one is not true. To examine competitors and match their own legislation? Sometimes when you're doing the testing and it's so obvious, the process of elimination does help me a lot, especially I am a bad test taker. Okay, so we're doing number 14. Which definition most accurately explains a whistleblower? A whistleblower is a person who reports any unethical information about an organization. A whistleblower is a person hired by organizations to cover up illicit or unethical activity. That's not true. Process of elimination, I'll eliminate that. A whistleblower is a person who reports or publicizes any illegal or unethical information about institute. Whistleblower status is only granted when the organization is private. That's not true. A whistleblower reports or publicizes any illegal or unethical information about an institute. Whistleblower status is only granted when organization is public. I don't think it's true, but whistleblower is a person who reports unethical information about an organization. I'm going to say A. Which of the following is not a qualifier, a key component of a business plan? Which is not annual goal, projection growth target, net income expectation, bonuses for executive, which is not a key component of a business plan. Hmm. I would say net income expectations, project growth and targets, annual goals, business for executive. I mean, I know they're the highest paid. I'm jelly, but anyway, business for executives. I would say D. It's not like a business plan, but they are important. Okay. A stakeholder, number 16. A stakeholder is any actor that affects or can be affected by business but doesn't own property of the business. Which of the following group of people are not a stakeholder? Employee, surrounding business, shareholders, and local community. I would say shareholders. Number 17. Which of the following is the best describes merger and acquisition? Whew, I love merging acquisition. I would never work in a situation with a merger and acquisition, but if they were, I'll be so good at it. Merger and occurs temporarily in order to consolidate resources and beat out competitors. Acquisition occur permanently. Merger occurs when a company purchases another without a new company being formed. Automatically a disqualifier right there. Merger occurs when two companies combine to form a new one. Acquisition occurs when one company purchases another without a new company being formed. C for me. Merger and acquisition offer occurs temporarily in order to consolidate resources, beat out a competitor, then action act. Let's go with C. When the performing cost benefit analysis of proposed project, what is a project worker salary in an example of? A stakeholder, a cost, a benefit, independent variable. It's a cost. Each fiscal quarter within fiscal year is an example of which of the following? A milestone. They have benchmarking, which is not process elimination, benefits, independent variable. It's a cost. Each fiscal year. Oh, I read that one. Okay. Number 20. Myra and Angela are two HR professionals who work in the same organization. Recently, Myra successfully implemented a sustainability initiative with the marketing department where she helped them reduce the amount of paper they use. This led to saved paper, printing, labor costs, as well as reduced physical waste. Angela would like to try this initiative with the finance department, which is welcome to this idea. How can Angela begin to allocate resources in project? Okay. Copy my initiative as closely as possible. Write down the budget and timeline. Use her best guess to document what she believes the finance department will need in order to reduce their paper waste and provide a written copy to manager. Need analysis is important. Set up a meeting with Mara to discuss how she allocated the resources, what went successfully, as well as what did not go successfully, and use this data to plan. We want to be able to have a blueprint, especially if we have that privileges of a strategy already implemented and you knew it worked, just going over that strategy, right? And going over with a person to be able to understand what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. I think for me, I will go with C. Ask the HR turn to devote all the time to her initiative. Let's go with C. 21. Michael led an HR department as a federal agency. He is in the planning stage for a new fiscal year and is thrilled that he has created initiatives that are highly detailed and comprehensive and use the resource for contract his agency currently has in place. He is very attached to the outcome of this initiative. However, presidential election is taking place in 1 month that will likely affect the contract that are awarded to his agency. What can Michael do to protect his new fiscal year plan? Ensure that there is a leftover money for previous fiscal year to serve as a cushion should he not receive expected contract. I think that would be sense. Create a breakup plan for all of the contract that may be affected while calmly accepting that some changes may be unanticipated and out of the control. Create a backup plan. That's really good too. Nothing he has already distributed them to the employee. Find a new job. Create a backup plan for all. I'm going to go with B. Create a backup plan for all the contract that may be affected while calmly accepting that some changes may be unanticipated out of the control. So, okay. Larry manages the three HR employee. Jane is in charge of compensation and benefit task. Ara is in charge of risk management tasks, and Samar is in charge of recruiting and hiring. Samar has an illness that takes him out of the office for 6 weeks, and during this time, all recruitment and hiring process freeze. This major impact two other in department that we are waiting on new employee to begin. How could this situation have been prevented? Larry should have cross-trained his three employees to fulfill in for each other should emergency come up. That makes sense. So Marshall had worked remotely to handle candidate needed by the other two that department. That makes no sense. Larry should have filled in similar role for entire duration. Era should have analyzed some more workday. I think is you always want to cross train everyone, right? You don't want to be handicapped, having one person just do a job. So we're definitely going for A. What is the most crucial aspect of successfully implementing organizational change? Work ethic, leadership buy-in. David Sala is just as amazing. And if anyone, I mean, Sherms, all of them have their good quality, but my my opinion, David Solar is one of the greatest elements that you can ever find out there. You could afford it if your employer wants to, asking you to do your research, which one that you feel that you're gonna be able, they will purchase it for you. Basically, go with David Solomon. For me, my opinion, it's just the best, and you'll find out why. But anyway, leadership buy-in is going to be my first answer. The question is again, what is the most crucial aspect of successfully implementing organizational change? David would tell you, leadership buy-in. Highly compensated employee, terminated employee, well, just be. An employee sees a close colleague change on number in the accounting spreadsheet reflects incorrect value. The employee feels uncomfortable reporting the colleague due to their friendship and close working relationship. However, the employee feels very concerned about the situation. What is one feasible resources that could help this employee in a situation like this? An anonymous and confidential HR hotline. A lot of people have these opportunities and they don't use them at work, but I will go with that. A close relationship with the superior, an in-house coffee shop where the employee can go with the colleague and discuss their feelings and about situation, regular communication with transition session. A lot of, in my staff, I have a suggestion box and I always tell them, it's something that you need to discuss. Just put it in the box, you know. So I will say in anonymous, I will go with 8. What is the best way for HR leaders to communicate is acceptable ethical behavior in the workplace? Provide written protocols about the constitutes and ethical or unethical behavior. Rely the employee are continuously monitored with in-house cameras, so they should be especially mindful of their work behavior. Model acceptable ethical behavior themselves as much as possible. That should be done. Tell employee at their own new hire on that speak. What is the best way for HR leaders to communicate acceptable and unacceptable behavior in the workplace? I would say orientation is the best part for me. You could buy a written protocol, but who really reads any of that, right? Reliant employee are continually monitored in the house. Model acceptable and ethical behavior themselves as much as possible. Management are leaders. Therefore, they should be able to sell an example. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen everywhere, right? To employee at the new hire orientation, so I'll say D. Remember, people leave management, they don't leave their jobs. The CEO of the company hold bi-weekly meeting with his entire organization to rely on new information about the company performance trends and personal opinion relating to the industry. What is an example of this? The CEO of the company holds a bi-weekly meeting with the entire company to rely on new. That's transparency. That's A. Where should employee first encounter organization ethical standard and policy? At the new hire orientation, during the first interview, in the job posting for his or her role, by reading a company press release. In the job posting. In the job posting, ethical standard and policy should be there at the end. They should be there. That's so that everyone, all the new hires should encounter that. I would say a C, even though a new orientation. The vice president of the organization has noted that a particular employee, Ben, has been working extremely hard and has made a positive impression on the large majority of the organization leadership. The vice president met with Ben and asked him about his work. Ben shared all of the accomplishment that his team has achieved in the last quarter. What is Ben displaying during the meeting? Ego, individualistic behavior, team orientated, and humility. Humility is definitely one of them, but it's not the right answer. We have to get the best answer. So I would say team orientated culture because it's about the team. It's not about the individual. We sit together, we storm. Unfortunately, I don't have that in my job, um, but I do have the CFO, which is my mentor. Like, who could say that, right? So I would say a team orientated culture. That's number 28. During the project meeting, Mary creates a tablet that includes a detailed description of every task needed for the project, deliverable date for each task, and owner of each task. Each number is able to access update the table's status update. What is Mary helping her team to do? Helping each member feel accountable, micromanaging, modeling ethical behavior, collecting data. So in this question, during the project meeting, my creative tablet includes a detailed description of every task needed for the project and deliver the dates for each task. So she delivers the date for each task. She's she gives a task to each person with dates of starts and ending. So she's holding them accountable, helping each member to feel accountable. So that'll be A. Um, I think I skipped one, but anyway. 30. Soliciting feedback from stakeholder is an important part of which of the following process stage? Evaluation, control, testing, documentation. Soliciting feedback from stakeholder is an important part of which of the following process stage? Soliciting feedback. You're getting feedback. I would say evaluation, getting feedback, right? I mean, it's not control. Testing, I'm going with feedback. Okay. So I'm not going to go ahead and review it now, but I will go ahead in my next session. I will declare next week on Saturday. I will go ahead and review my results with you and the outcome, right? The ones that were wrong. Um, Thank you so much. Again, this is a great book to go for whoever is going for their PHR. They do have the same book for CP, SPHR, and SPHR and SCP as well. So definitely look for this book. It's really good book because it's a good book because it gives you it's a synopsis of what exactly that you need to know, and it then gives you again it gives you the questions that you can review as well with the rationale that is very important, understanding the reason why you have it wrong and reviewing it. So again, thank you for joining me on my study session. I'll let you know by next week how did I do on this portion, and we'll go and see what we have for next week. Again, great resource. Through the week, I will be going over David Psalm and the difference between SHRMS and HCRI, and even Victoria, Concord Boot Camp, I think is what it's called. I'll research it and get it right. She is amazing. I cannot tell you more about Victoria, but she's an amazing. The only her accent is the funniest one is "Thank you Jesus" is one of the things I, I got on um, her sessions, which is good. We will definitely talk in detail about Victoria Pursue. Again, thank you for your time. Have a great weekend. Have a great work week. And again, going for your PHR, SPHR, SCP, CP focus. It's all about what you want. Thank you for your time. Your HR study buddy Jackie here for you. Talk to you soon and have a great week. Bye for now.